It's official, folks. Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF will be joining the Big 12 Conference July 1st of 2023. What does that mean for Texas and Oklahoma? And what does that mean they will be leaving the Big 12 sooner rather than later? Let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome into another edition of Coos' Corner. So pull up a chair and let me serve you up a shot of top-shelf college football knowledge. Before I drop that knowledge on you folks, I want to let you know that this show is brought to you by a great collaboration between two awesome companies, two West Virginia companies, and two passionate Mountaineer fans. 304 Creative and EarsNation.com have teamed up to give you these awesome new designs, these new shirts that have come out. This is called the 90s Kids line of Ears Gear, where you can get it over at earsgear.com. I'll give you the link in the description box. You click that link, go get your brand new 90s Kids t-shirt that represents West Virginia. You'll be helping out 3 passionate West Virginia fans. If you want to help out my channel in other ways, and you want to do it for free, all you have to do is hit the red subscribe button, hit the thumbs up if you like this video, share it out with all of your college sports loving friends, and leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. What's on tap today at Coos' Corner? Yes, once again, we're talking conference expansion. This time, we're not talking about pie in the sky, things that may happen one day, which I've kind of been doing with Tony Altamore, as well as a few other videos. But what we're talking about today is actual breaking news. According to The Athletic and writer Max Olson, the American Athletic Conference Commissioner Mike Aresco has officially announced, that Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF will leave the American Athletic Conference and officially join the Big 12 as of July 1st, 2023. Now, we all knew this was coming. It had been in the talks for a while, that the sides were close to coming to a agreement for this date. However, what had not been determined was the buyout. Well, that has been determined now. The buyout will be $18 million per school, and it will be paid out over a 14-year period. Now, according to Justin Williams, who's a beat writer for Cincinnati beat writer, what started with the AAC reportedly asking for $45 million ultimately ended on an $18 million number, and the reason for that is UConn. UConn left the American Athletic Conference in 2020, and they negotiated a 12-month early exit for $17 million. So Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF felt like that had set a precedent, and that the American Athletic Conference should accept $18 million, and they came to an agreement on $18 million. So it's $18 million. It's $18 million paid out over 14 years, and it's $18 million per school, by the way. Also, what Mr. Williams mentioned in this article is that the incoming Big 12 programs should also be in line to receive full member financial benefits of the conference's next television rights deal, which is slated to update in 2025. So once they get a new deal in 2025 with whatever networks they get a deal with, these 3 schools, along with BYU, who has already announced that they're coming July 1st of 2023, all 4 of those schools will be in line to be full 100% members of the conference and receive the full amount of the TV deal that they are owed. Now, this also means that this will set off a domino effect. The announcement of these 3 schools leaving the AAC will set off a domino effect and will cause all the other teams that are changing conferences to make their moves. For example, there are 6 schools that will be joining the American Athletic Conference, and those are Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, North Texas, Rice, UAB, and UTSA. And it was sources told The Athletic's Chris Vanini that Charlotte actually made its move official Friday, which is today, shortly after the AAC exits were announced. In turn, Conference USA will add Liberty, New Mexico State, Sam Houston, and Jacksonville State. And they're also expected to be added on July 1st of 2023 in a move that was announced last fall. So all of those announcements can now become official with the AAC making their announcement official. Because, obviously these teams couldn't go into the AAC with these 3 until these 3 schools left. So what does that mean for Oklahoma and Texas? Does that mean they'll now have to leave the Big 12? That's not the case. We all know that according to the Big 12 bylaws, according to their grant of rights agreement, Oklahoma and Texas are held per a contract to the Big 12 through the 2024 season until July 1st, 2025. Now, the Big 12 has refused to come off of that number, and they are forcing Oklahoma and Texas to remain in the league until 2025. Will this move change that? According to Max Olson, he says it's unlikely. He doesn't think it'll have an impact. He thinks the Big 12 will remain adamant and that this standoff will remain between the Big 12 and these two schools, and that they will force the two schools to remain in the conference until July 1st, 2025. And he also went on to say that if they plan to leave the conference and join the SEC in 2024, that they will have to let the Big 12 know that by the end of this year. So they have a very short window of time to make that announcement if they plan to leave early. Now, we also, in addition to that, what could change things a little bit, potentially, is the new Big 12 commissioner. We all know that Bob Bowlesby has announced his resignation, and it's expected that the Big 12 will have their new commissioner in place by the end of this summer. It's possible the new commissioner will have a different view on this and will want to negotiate an early buyout for these two programs. Now, let me give you my opinion. My opinion is this. I have a feeling, as sneaky as Texas and Oklahoma were, and as quiet as they were able to keep leaving the Big 12 for the SEC, I feel like they're probably doing the same thing here. I feel like that Texas and Oklahoma, along with the SEC and probably even ESPN, who owns the media rights to the SEC, I feel like these entities have probably gotten together and talked and put together a plan to try and get out of the Big 12 early. But what I think has probably happened is they've had to keep that quiet until this announcement that was made today was made, because they wanted to see what the Big 12 was going to do before they decided to leave. And now with the Big 12 adding these 4 new schools, I've got a feeling that Oklahoma and Texas, and especially Texas, are not going to want to remain in this conference through 2024. I don't think they're going to want to, because they don't, like I mentioned in an earlier video, Texas does not want to have to play Houston. They probably don't want to play UCF or Cincinnati either. They probably think that they're quote unquote too good to play those schools, and they probably want to get out as early as possible. And 2, let's face it, they want to make that SEC money as early as they can to be part of that league. They already consider themselves pretty much part of the SEC. And let's be frank, the Big 12 pretty much already considers them no longer a part of the Big 12, even though they are officially a part of the Big 12. The Big 12 fan bases have pretty much already, I don't want to say kick these schools out, but they've pretty much already accepted the fact that they're leaving, and they have embraced these 4 new institutions, and they're ready to move on. And I think the Big 12 needs to do the same. I honestly think the Big 12 needs to stop being so stubborn. I think they need to negotiate with these 2 schools a buyout. Now, they should make them pay a hefty fee to leave, but let's negotiate a buyout. I think it makes sense for both sides, and I think that for 2 reasons. Number one, you've got two members of the conference who don't want to be there. You're going to have a lot of disgruntled people, potentially fans, coaches, administrative members, everybody, right? So let's everybody move on. All right, and the second reason I think that the Big 12 should negotiate a buyout is just efficiency and effectiveness. It will be much easier for the conference to do scheduling. They haven't even determined yet whether they're going to have divisions or not. All those decisions will be easier to make if you only have if you only have 12 teams, and B, if you know who those teams are. So let Texas and Oklahoma negotiate a buyout. Let them leave early for a hefty fee. Let everybody move on, and then the Big 12 can go ahead and plan their scheduling for 2024, and they can make a decision on whether or not they want to have divisions based on that 12-team model versus a 14-team model, and they won't have to go back and reinvent the wheel, so to speak, if they go from 14 to 12, right? Because if they make a decision today that they're going to go with divisions, as long as they have 14 teams, well, then all of a sudden you have 12 teams, then you have to go back and you might have to rethink that idea and go without divisions, or vice versa, whatever it is that they decide. You can make a decision today, and you can move forward with that decision, and everything be done, and you don't have to keep revisiting the issue. Okay? So that's what I think about the situation. I want you, Couz's Corner family, to let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think that the Big 12 should go ahead and negotiate a buyout for Texas and Oklahoma, let them leave, Let everybody be happy and everybody move on with their future and what it's going to look like going forward. And embrace the new leagues. The SEC can embrace the 2 new schools. The Big 12 can embrace their 4 new schools. Everybody gets on with life. It moves on. Or do you think the Big 12 should be adamant and make Texas and Oklahoma stay in the league through the grant of rights agreement, through the full amount of time until July 1st, 2025? If you think that, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. I respect everybody's opinion here. Your opinion is just as important as my opinion, and I like the dialogue. So let me know. Don't forget to go to earsgear.com. Check out the new 90s Kids tees that they've got up on that site. Use the link in the description box. I'll also make a small commission from it, and you'll be helping out 3 Mountaineer fans. Earsgear.com, 304 Creative, both run by passionate Mountaineer fans, as well as me. You'll be helping us all out and supporting our work here, and we'll also get some pretty cool shirts in the process. I also have other links in my description box to Fanatics, where you can do your online shopping there. Amazon, do your online shopping there. If you like sports betting, if you want to bet on the upcoming college baseball World Series games, by all means. This is a college football show, but by all means, if you want to bet on that, or if you want to bet on the NBA finals or whatever, final games or whatever it is, use that BetUS link in my description box to place your bets. I'll make a small commission from that as well. And if it's your first bet, you'll get a 125% bonus if you use promo code JOIN125. So check that out. If you can't do any of that, you want to support me for absolutely 100% free, you can do that in 4 ways. You can like this video by pressing that thumbs up button. You can subscribe to my channel. You can comment underneath. Or you can share this out with all of your friends and let them know about Kuz's Corner, because if you like this kind of content, there's a good chance they will too. And hey, who doesn't like top shelf football knowledge, right? Because that's what I'm dropping here nearly every single day on Kuz's Corner. I really appreciate you tuning into this show. And until next time, Q Country Roads.